Kazakhstan's Prime Minister Karim Mazimov has responded to accusations that his country has not been active enough in trying to help ease the ethnic tensions and violence in neighboring Kyrgyzstan. Kazakhstan shares a border with Kyrgyzstan, where nearly 300 people and possibly many more were killed in several days of conflict between ethnic Kyrgyz and Uzbeks. In January, Kazakhstan became the first post-Soviet country to chair the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, the OSCE. Some observers have said the OSCE's response to the crisis in Kyrgyzstan has been too weak, even negligent. The BBC's Nick Gowing spoke to Prime Minister Masimov and asked him why Kazakhstan hasn't been more active in trying to reduce the violence across its border.
From the very beginning, the President of Kazakhstan and government of Kazakhstan is very active in support for the stabilization in Kyrgyzstan.
But Prime Minister, let me put to you, Prime Minister, you say that, but that's not the impression in the international community. There's an impression that you have not been acting responsibly as the chair of the OSCE.
I do not agree with you. I think Kazakhstan is very active, and my government from the very beginning is putting an active support for the interim government to stabilize the situation in Kyrgyzstan. And after the election, we are ready to provide a real support for Kyrgyzstan, and we are ready to provide the economic program and humanitarian support.
But Prime Minister, this drama has now been going on for many weeks since the President, Mr. Bakiev, was deposed. There are many who say that you as a regional power should have been much more involved to ensure peace on your borders and across your borders.
We are, government of Kazakhstan is on everyday touch with the government, interim government of Kyrgyzstan. And since they do have a legitimate government, after the referendum, we are ready to provide even more support to them.
But I have to put
to
you,
the Prime Minister is committed to that.
I have to put to you that you are the chair now, this year, of the OSCE, the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, and that you should have been taking much more of an active lead, particularly as it's your region, on your doorstep.
We are taking an active role, and we are ready to provide even more. And we are on a cooperation with all the member states of OSCE, leaders, foreign ministers, neighboring countries, and other neighboring countries. And we are ready to be even more involved in that.
Under the Helsinki Final Acts, the CSE, now the OSCE, was set up in order to preserve human rights, to promote human rights, to promote good governance and democracy. Let me put it to you that you, as chair of the OSCE now, Kazakhstan, halfway through your chairmanship, have really done nothing to improve human rights, including in your own country.
Situation with the human rights in Central Asia and in Kazakhstan, of course, should be developed. But I strongly believe that Kazakhstan and my government is paying a lot of attention for the improvement of the human rights issue in the country. Stability, human rights in Kazakhstan is in progress. And we are committed for the further development of human rights issue in Kazakhstan and in Central Asia as a whole.
But Prime Minister, let me put it to you that the organizations who monitor human rights in your country say nothing has changed in the last 6 months.
I think a lot of efforts have been put on that, and we are on the track, and every day we are working for the improvement of human rights situation in my country.
Are you saying that means there'll be no torture of those who try and stand for election or who try and be political activists? Because you know very well what non-governmental organizations and human rights organizations say about your country.
The fact that Kazakhstani non-government organization have a right to express their view, which means that we do have a freedom of speech. And we are trying to pull all the efforts that everyone has the right to speak, everyone has the right for assembly, and etc. And we are going to improve our legislation for that.
And that'll be confirmed by the end of your tenure as the chair of the OSCE, will it?
We are going for this direction.
Kazakhstan Prime Minister Karim Masimov in conversation with the BBC's Nick Gowing. After the resignation